a program where we examine governance, leadership, public policy, and other issues shaping our democracy. I am your host, Florence Ibhareman, and today I am not by myself. I have with me Alaba Adeyemi. Good morning, Alaba.
Good morning, Florence. Good morning, our listeners. Good morning, Nigeria.
It's good to have you in the studios. It's a beautiful morning for political perspective.
Thank you very much.
Yes, so today we have a discussion surrounding the security outfits in the Southwest, and of course, making a major focus on the Ondo State. So today, discussion centers on one of the most talked about security outfits in Nigeria, the Western Nigerian Security Network, popularly known as Amotekun. Since its establishment in 2020, Amotekun has become a major force in supporting conventional security agencies across Southwest. Its officers have been involved in rescuing kidnapped victims, protecting farmers, tackling armed robbery, and helping community feel better. But recently, attention shifted from its achievements to controversies following the suspension and declaration as wanted of three officers in Ondo State over allegations made by the core leadership. Now, today our focus are on the following. Now, the first is why was Amotekun created, whether it has fulfilled its mandate, the recent controversies, what it means for public trust, and of course, possible reforms.
It's young to the big Guinness. Listen.
So, Alaba, we want to take a very quick look into the history of Amotekun, why it was established, and whether it has fulfilled that mandate of its establishment.
Well, let me say explicitly here that the clamor for a form of local policing has been on for over 3 decades, especially from the Southwest. The people of the Southwest, through organizations where they are represented, like the Afenifere, like the Yoruba Elders Forum, are constantly clamored for the need to have state policing as a component of true federalism. Because the federal system of government, which we copied from nations like the United States, have as part of its component state policing structure that only the local people in a place can actually effectively police their locality. However, there had always been a brick wall erected by persons of other region, preventing the actualization of that particular objective. But in 2015, after Muhammadu Buhari took over as the president of Nigeria, there was an upsurge of attacks on locals across Southwest by persons mostly of Fulani ethnicity. This is according to available data and according to even the Sultan of Sokoto at the time admitted that many of those who were attacking our people are of Fulani ethnicity. So the leadership of the Southwest came together and decided that there's no time to waste again, and we have to give kudos to the Dawn Commission. The Dawn Commission designed how it will be done and also proposed a name for this thing. So at the end of the day, in the I think in early 2020, Amotekun was launched in Ibadan. As at that time, our late governor, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, was the chairman of the Southwest Governors Forum. That is why a lot of people would usually say that it was his idea. It is not completely correct to say it was his personal idea. He was like a leader of the church as at that time, but it was an original idea of an organization known as the Dawn Commission. The Dawn Commission has become a brain box for designing objectives of the Southwest. Recently, the Southwest Development Commission came up with the idea of having a Southwest rail network. It was also the idea of the Dawn Commission, initial idea of the Dawn Commission. So, one of the first one that Akeredolu played on the Buhari government that was opposed to it was the fact that they ensured that the organization was launched before the laws establishing them were made. Because they would have stopped it if there had been an attempt to make the law first before start establishing it. So it was organized by the passion and the support of the leadership of the followership of the people of the Yoruba region of the Southwest. So when it was established, everybody now went back to their state to make laws that will regulate the activities of that organization. One of the things they adopted is that they adopted the same color. The same color of Amotekun in Ondo is the color of Amotekun in Oyo, in Ogun, in Ekiti, and in this. So when you are in Ondo State and you go to Osun, you see a man wearing the same color, you know that's Amotekun of Osun State. Okay. Now, what subsequently happened is that Amotekun began to do what he was expected based on the resources available and the time frame and the limited amount of training that they have. I would say that Amotekun has performed creditably well. Can they do better? Yes. Can the structure get better? Of course. But right now, they have done well. Although there have been lapses. Some of them I will highlight in the course of our discussion. But there have been lapses, there have been serious infractions. But by and large, based on what we have and what has been given to them, they have done well. And top of that list is Amotekun Ondo State. They have actually done well. The men have discharged their duty with courage. Some of them have had to pay the supreme price. Even in Owo here, at a time, some illegal miners shot at some Amotekun men, killed some of them, even here in this local government. So, by and large, they've done well. They could do better.
Okay, today's discussion is centered around the controversy making news again today. And that regards the Ondo State leadership announcing earlier that they suspended 3 officers and also declared them wanted, alleging misconduct and of course actions that undermine the core. Now the affected officers on the case now, they've come out to say no, we have our own side of the story, so we want to be heard as well. So they stressed the matter and they also felt there was need for it to be handled with due process. Now I have questions, but would you like to give us a detailed analysis as regards this controversies, or should I go ahead with my questions?
Well, sometimes, let me just bring our people up to speed.
Okay.
Some people of Ondo State are aware of some of these incidents. Sometimes, about this time last year, 3 men of the Amotekun Corps began to come online to agitate. At the time, they even organized a protest, a physical protest, that there is a need for them to be issued an appointment letter. You work with High Power FM. Before you ever step behind the microphone, you got a letter. Because that is what reasonable organizations do. Some of them have been with the Amotekun since 2020. And by 2025, they still do not have an appointment letter. The appointment letter is a proof that you are ever employed. It is also a proof of your agreement, your agreed wages. It's also proof the length of service that you can render and several other things. So these young men began to say, other states that we started together at the same time have given their workers an appointment letter. Ogun has, Oyo has, Ekiti here has, Osun has. What is now wrong with us? Why can't we get appointment letter? Well, they continue to agitate, and because of agitating, they also expose certain things that members of the public consider as dirty secrets of what is going on within the structure of the corps. However, in response, the commander of Amotekun Corps in Ondo State said that they did not need an appointment letter, that warrant card is sufficient for them. And that at another time, they declared those 3 persons wanted. So many of them could not sleep, the 3 of them could not sleep in their houses for a long time. So they contacted a lawyer to take the case to court. Barrister Tokpete Mokun. Tokpete Mokun is also the private lawyer to Omoyele Sowore. So he took the matter to court. But you know that the mills of the law grind slowly. So in the course of having that case in court, one of them, his wife, was arrested by the NDLEA. They said that she's involved in maybe a selling of marijuana or something like that. The husband was still online agitating. Sometimes down the line, he was also arrested. That case is also in court as we speak. One of them, I have not been hearing about him, but there's another one, Akishipe Victor, who had carried on online with information regarding the struggle for the regularization of their employment.
Okay, let me quickly ask this question. Should security officers speak publicly against management? Is he a known fact? Should it be done that way?
Well, let me say this, that you cannot build something on nothing.
Okay.
For you to be to join any security outfit in Nigeria, one, you have to be a Nigerian. And freedom of speech is a fundamental right. When they say something is fundamental, it means that no matter who you are, no matter the work you do, no matter the ethnicity you come from, no matter the sickness you have in your body, those rights are inalienable. That nobody can take those rights from you. The right to express yourself. Now, and it appears, this is my private opinion, that those gentlemen have exhausted internal mechanism to demand for these things before they actually came out to say they need it. We cannot meet the governor, who is the commander-in-chief of the Amotekun Corps, but we can put the message where he can see it. In my opinion, I did not think that the Ondo State government handled the problem properly. And I do not see what is difficult in employing a person and giving him a letter that assures him that he's your employee. I once had that problem with an organization that I once worked for. After working for 2 weeks, I met the owner of the organization and I told him to his face that I want a letter that assures me you cannot employ me as a journalist to go into the bush to find story, to risk my life, and you expect me to be walking around without a letter that I'm your employee. What if I get injured in the process? What will happen? And recently, there has also been stories that some of the men of the Amotekun Corps who had died, that there is none of their family who got up to 500,000 naira. I'm not sure, but we have a time to engage with somebody who is directly involved in the organization. And that is why this kind of matter. So when we talk about because he belongs to a place, he should not be able to talk again. That is not in accordance with the letter of the law. No law in Nigeria No law of an organization is greater than the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, your fundamental human rights is entrenched in it, enshrined in it. So nobody can say you cannot place any other law beyond the Constitution of the country that has safeguarded your right to express yourself, to freely associate. So even protest, because our government hates protest, is a fundamental right. You are just expressing yourself. As far as you are not destroying public property, nobody should be held back from saying, I don't like it. Do you know that in Western countries, people can organize protests because some people are cutting trees? People organize protests because people are killing lizards. It doesn't have to make sense to you. As far as I'm not breaking any law, it doesn't have to make sense to you.
So should internal disagreements remain internal? Or at what point should the line be drawn?
I think in Nigeria, you can only serve for 30 years.
Okay.
Or 35 years max, depending on the this thing. So if a person has spent 5 years,
Without
5 out of
qualification.
30, without a document assuring that he was ever employed in that place, because tomorrow the leaders can stand up and say that they never saw you. When if you show them picture wearing the uniform, they would say that it's a costume. Maybe you are acting drama. So the point is that what has been stopping the government of Ondo State, where the Amotekun idea actually took root the most, from doing the needful? That is what we are going to be discussing.
Okay, thank you very much, Alaba Adeyemi. Yes, the program is still Political Perspective on iPower 102.7 FM. Right about now, we'll be having a full call conversation with one of the officers who will be giving us an insight of what's really happened and how far they have gone as regarding this their seek or their quest for victory at the end of the day. But we'll go on a very short break. When we come back, we would launch in to our conversations proper. Yes, the program is still Political Perspective on iPower 102.7 FM. Joining us now is one of the officers involved in the recent controversy. We would appreciate his willingness and, of course, to share his perspective. But for public awareness, the view expressed by our guests today are his own and do not necessarily need to represent what we think at iPower 102.7 FM. The allegations against him have not been determined by the court, and we encourage respective discussion. Good morning.
Good morning, ma.
Good
and
morning.
Good morning to the house.
Yeah, good morning. Please, can you tell us about yourself? What's your name, please?
My name is Akishikwe Victor. I'm one of the 3 Amotekun officers demanding for the good welfareism of all Ondo State Amotekun officers in Ondo State.
Okay, very well. Good morning, Mr. Victor. How long have you served in Amotekun?
We have been working in Amotekun since the year 2020. And our major agitation is demanding for appointment letter, confirmation letter, and government payroll, in which our counterparts from other states like Ekiti State, Amotekun, Osun State Amotekun, and Ogun State Amotekun, they have received that same appointment letter and government payroll since the year 2020 and 2021 respectively. At the moment we have demand for our appointment letter in the year 2025, they turn it to a crime. They turn it to war on us for demanding for appointment letter for all of those officers.
Okay, if I may ask, why did you join the service?
I'm a ICT expert.
Okay.
I joined the service in order for me to contribute my impact to safeguard Ondo State at large. And to the glory of God, I'm the first IT expert that have been operating. I personally configured kidnappers and other things like that, other criminal activities. So I'm the one I head the aspect of technical ICT of Ondo State Amotekun for good more than 5 years.
Okay, now for 5 years, from 2020 up until now, do you have any significant achievements that could be drawn from the site of the service?
To the glory of God, due to the fact that I don't only base my life on salary, I have my handwork. So to the glory of God, I've achieved so many things. You know, I'm a solar installation. I'm a solar professional. I install solar, install CCTV, I install car tracking, even for government and for individuals.
Okay,
So
Mr. Victor.
Yes, sir.
Please, before you began to agitate in public in 2025,
Yes, sir.
what internal mechanism have you explored?
Okay, thank you very much. When we received a copy of the appointment letter of our own commander, Adeyemi Florence from God, when we received the copy of his appointment letter that he has his own appointment letter, we also make an effort to get copies of appointment letter of all other Amotekun states, Ekiti, Osun, and Ogun State. As a result of that, we combined everything together. We wrote a letter to the commander with the copies of all the appointment letter, including his own copies of the appointment letter. We wrote a letter to the governor. We wrote a letter to the Speaker of the House of Assembly. We wrote a letter to the Chief of Staff. We wrote a letter to the SC on security. And we wrote a letter to the Attorney General with copies of all those appointment letters attached to the letter. So to our greatest surprise, instead of the State House of Assembly, the Speaker, to call us for the petition, he rather collide with the commander of Amotekun to invite the head of Amotekun head in each local government and the area officers that they should come and deny the allegation that they don't want appointment letter for all Amotekun staff in Ondo State, that they don't need appointment letter. So that is. So we have wrote a letter.
Mr. Kishipe, please, sorry for cutting in. Are you confirming to us that all Amotekun heads in all the local governments in Ondo State went to the House of Assembly to say that they do not need appointment letter for their men?
Yes, the Amotekun commander made sure that he put all of them that they have to say that, you know, they don't everybody we don't have a job security, so they are scared of their job so that they will not lose their position, they will not lose their job. So you have to threaten them, and they all march to the House of Assembly to say that they don't need appointment letter. You know, between me and you, we know that no reasonable person can do such a thing without if the person is not under threat.
I understand you. How has life been since they declared the three of you wanted, for not just for you, but for the other guys?
We thank God Almighty that we received a good judgment yesterday, that for declaring us wanted, the council, the chief judge of Ondo State, is the one that handled the case, and he ruled that we won the case. Our life has not been the same. When they declared us wanted, me as a person, my wife was the one that protested with pregnancy then. So my wife, when even a week after she protested, she have a baby boy. I could not attend the naming of the ceremony of the boy because we were declared wanted for an offense that we never committed. So the life is, let me be sincere with you, it's not easy. Let me just say that for the three of us. One of us were even along the line, they want to assassinate him. They shot him twice, which is Abutaiwo.
How is he now? Mr. Abutaiwo, how is he now?
He's doing fine. The only person that is still on the struggle is Ekujumujilos and his wife, in which they are still in the prison because we are demanding for a appointment letter.
Okay.
What reform do you think Amotekun needs moving forward from the experience and from the judgment gotten yesterday? What should they put in place moving forward?
If they want to, for preparation of the state police that is coming, all of those state Amotekun need to follow the counterpart of other Amotekun states, like making them to be under the government payroll by issuing appointment letters, by making the staff happy. I want to tell you the fact. All of those state Amotekun officers are not happy because they are treating them like a slave. Imagine many people that have died in this job, nothing was given to their family. A dime was not given to their family. So do you want any kutuban pojuba any willow pafuni and do you want them? They are not happy. They are not happy. They are just smiling. They are just smiling.
Mr. Kishipe.
Yes.
The allegations you are making are very weighty. Are you confirming to us that there are men who paid the supreme price, men of the Amotekun Corps who paid the supreme price, that their families were not compensated?
I'm giving you 100%. The most people that they are well known, their family was given 200,000 naira. Is that it? Can we call it that compensation? It's okay. Let me tell you this. Do you know that many of the officers of Amotekun officers, we have list of more than 40 people from different local governments that they seize their salary for 6 good months. Tell me what they want the family of that person to be eating. They want to expose them to corruption, to banditry, and all that thing.
Why was their salary seized?
Thank you very much. Some they will give them allegation that maybe they are absent of duty for a day or for 2 days in a month, and they will choose their salary for 6 months. Not that they are going to pay the salary for them at the end of the 7th month. No, the first 6 months have been embezzled. They will now start afresh for the 7th month, which means they have been sacked for the first 6 months. Now, do you want to tell me that all this money that is going back to the state account? No, the money has disappeared into the senior.
Do you know if the Amotekun Corps, Ondo State Amotekun Corps, is planning to appeal the judgment obtained yesterday?
Oh, we have our facts. Even though if they appeal, we are still going to win. It's their choice to appeal or not. It's their choice. But I want to tell you that even though they appeal in heaven, we are still going to win them.
Mr. Kishipe, with your personal experience looking at it, do you still believe in the mission of the Amotekun Corps?
Yes, Amotekun Corps are doing great. They are good. My fellow colleagues, we all have the act of securing the Ondo State at large. But when you have a bad head, like they say, when the head is faulty, the whole body is affected. When you have a bad head, the whole body will be affected. That's what is simply explanation about it.
So,
Amotekun is doing great.
what would you advise young officers who want to toe this path?
My advice to the general public is they should hold the Amotekun commander into accountability. Asking why is it embezzling the salaries of his officers? Why will you stop his salary for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months? What do you expect the officer to be eating and his family? If my salary was fixed, for instance, do you want me to work 100% efficiency to safeguard on those things? No. Why is this seizing their salary and embezzling it for good 3, 4, 5 months? If you want to discipline an officer, they are category. Even though you want to seize their salary, you can seize their salary for 3 months, and the fourth month you pay the salary together to them. But instead of for him to pay the salary together for them, he will embezzle the whole salary.
Mr. Kishipe,
Sir?
I would love to know, because I understand that every paramilitary organization and military organization have some form of rules and code of conduct. Is it stated in the code of conduct of the Amotekun Corps that when you are absent from work for 2 days, 6 months of your salaries will be seized?
Thank you very much. The fact is that where there is no law, there is no offense. We never have a code of conduct. I think you are you with me? We don't have.
We are with you. We are with you.
a code of conduct in Amotekun in those states. Who are those people that want to sit down to form the code of conduct? According to the constitution that created Amotekun, there must be a board organized by the governor, picked by the governor. We don't have a board that is doing check and balance for the Amotekun commander. That is why he's doing like Alpha and Omega at his own court. No, it's only because he's a judge in his own court, because there's no board that is overseeing Amotekun as a whole.
Okay, Mr. Akishikpe, the people of Ondo State are listening to you now. The electorates are also listening to you because they are the one who gave the governor their mandate. What exactly is the demand of the Amotekun 3?
The demand of Amotekun never changed. We are still requesting for a comment letter and confirmation letter with government payroll. We don't want our salary to be paid into the Amotekun commander's account again. Let it to be paid directly to the account of the officers so that these officers will have a job security. They will not embezzle their salaries for many months again.
Mr. Akishikpe, Mr. Akishikpe, are you saying that your salary is transferred from the private account of the Amotekun commander to the members of the corps?
Let me say this clearly. The account, the page Amotekun commander opened an account with Unity Bank. So the government will, and he is the signatory to the account. So it's more or less is the owner of the account. So the government will pay money to that account. Then from that his own account, he will now sign it. They will now distribute. We don't know a particular amount that which they are giving to Amotekun officers.
Okay.
He will not give us what he like. That is what he like. Not we are sure that that is one of the major reasons why they are stopping their comment letter.
For the sake of clarity,
yeah.
Are you saying that there are persons who have O level who are earning more than people who have degrees in the Amotekun corps?
Okay, let me tell you this. In all the local governments, the head of each local government, out of 18 local governments, we only have 3 educated people who are heading the local government. The remaining 15, they are pharmacy holders. Even they cannot provide their pharmacy holders, and they are earning more than the graduates. So the issue of education, it does not have a space in Amotekun.
Okay, thank you.
All the area commanders in those states in Amotekun, only one of them, we have 8 area commanders, only one of them is educated. The remaining 7, they are not educated people.
By non-educated, you mean that they didn't attend a secondary school?
They don't have a secondary school. They only have a pharmacist. Even though that is if they can provide a pharmacist services.
Mr. Akishikpa, if you could go back in time, would you do all of this over again? Would you fight this fight again?
100%. But before we leave this, I want to appreciate our God-sent lawyer, Barrister Topet Timoku. He has been standing by us with the help of God, and that is why we are able to achieve a good judgment yesterday.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma, and thank you for the listener.
Thank you very much for calling.
Thank you.
It's young to the beginning.
Yes, for those just joining, the program is a political perspective on iPower 102.7 FM. And of course, still talking Amotekun Corps in Ondo State. We just finished having a conversation with Mr. Akishikpe Victor, one of the 3 persons who was declared wanted by the Corps management. And of course, we want to sincerely appreciate him for honoring our invitation and of course taking his time out to join us on today's edition of Political Perspective. More still on the matter, Alaba, what do you think the Ondo State government should do regarding some of the allegations Akishikpe noted clearly? I would want to start from the area of the salary, which goes to a single signatory. Do you think that should be looked into?
Well, I think most of government parastatal now pay with payment platforms like Remitter and others like that. They pay salaries through payment platform. Even the federal government, when they disburse all these small loans and grants that are given to people, they do it through payment platforms. I don't know. Maybe there is a personal explanation for that. And maybe because, like I told you, that before Amotekun started, structures were not put in place. It was to circumvent the prayer that they would have received from Malami and Buhari as at that time. So they launched it. In fact, many Yoruba people did not know that they were launching anything until that day. They just saw pictures and branded vehicles and men. It was a good tactics to start with, but it cannot be carried on like that. Other states have taken steps to actually put needed structures in place. I don't see why Ondo should be different. I think the governor should understand that the Amotekun Corps is more than the property of the state government. It is the vision. It is a fruit of the vision of some of our fathers who are now gone. It is the product of the collective aspiration of the people of the Southwest for their personal security. To have people who look like them secure the space bequeathed to them by their founding fathers. So basically, politics should be taken out of it. The issues should be looked at critically. What can we do? There must be a structure. Akishwe Victor raised a particular thing that even in the law establishing Amotekun, there should be an Amotekun board. But there is no board in place because the Nigerian Police Force has a police commission that oversees the affairs of the Nigerian Police Force. But there's none in place. All those things should be put in place. Everything that is necessary should be done. But despite all these challenges, I must commend the effort of the men and women of the Amotekun Corps, because they are female too, who have been doing well despite all the inadequacies that they have had to go through.
Okay, I am trying to think out of the box now. Is there a thin line with what is happening as regards the Amotekun Corps in Ondo State and the proposed state policing? Can you draw a thin line of if eventually the bill becomes, is enacted? Do you think we're going to face this same pattern when it comes to state policing?
Well, since we are early comers,
Okay.
I think these kind of patterns might come up in states that do not have any form of policing structure already.
All right.
Part of the problems are being solved already. The law is being tested because the fact that they took this matter to court now and they got a judgment, it means that some persons have tested the full extent of the law as regards topics like this. So in states where something like that does not exist, they might face the same challenges. And the tendency for governors to want to make institutions of the state their personal or private properties would also be tested. However, it does not, when we look at the good job that the Amotekun Corps has done so far, I don't think there's anybody in his sane mind who lives within the Southwest who would say that we do not need a fully functional state policing structure.
Okay, for those who would want to contribute on the program, is 081-6552-4699. 081-6552-4699. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Adeyemi from Akunga.
Good morning, Abanimi. What's your contribution on the program?
I just listened to the young man.
Okay.
Um, I I would have loved to hear from the other side of the divide too. But that being said, I think the major problem this current administration has is that he has been trying to pull down whatever legacy that his predecessor laid down. You talk about the issue of Amotekun. The late Akeredolu, I think he established it in Ondo, and he funded it well before his demise. Look at the issue with the SCDS too. I heard that you have practically rendered all the 33 SCDAs created by Akeredolu redundant. I don't know. And it's one of the reasons he has been so unpopular. I don't think Ondo State has ever had it this bad. It's a shame. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thank you very much, Obadimi, for your contribution. Is 081 Yes, please note individuals take on matters has nothing to do with iPower 102.7 FM. 081
It's young to the beginners.
So glad to have you back. The program is still Political Perspective on iPower 102.7 FM. And today our focus was drawn to the Amotekun. Okay, 081 for those still trying to reach us in the studios. Amotekun in the southwest, strengthening regional security or raising fresh concerns, where we have Mr. Akishikwe Victor, one of the three who was declared wanted, but of course got a victory in the court yesterday. Okay, let me quickly take this call. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello?
My name is Takolade.
Your name is?
I just want to say, I read that you are just being
Okay, thank you very much for your contribution. 081655.
Well, maybe Florence, maybe we should use the opportunity to extend an invitation to the leadership of the Amotekun or whoever wishes to represent them.
Okay, to come.
So that this our studio is open. If there's a need to counter some of the weighty things that Mr. Akishipe has said,
Okay.
and from my end, efforts will also be made to reach out to them. If we can have somebody, maybe the PRO or anyone who is willing to represent him to counter some of these allegations that has been laid against the organization and its leadership.
Okay, very much. That's very good. And also, Alaba, what is your final take on the topic today as regarding Amotekun and the controversies?
I want to urge the state governor, the man on whose table all the buck stops, to seriously look at the issues of the Amotekun Corps. Those men are doing well. They are sweating tears and blood to ensure that the people of the state are safe. And the Amotekun is not the property of the governor or the commander of Amotekun. It is the product of the collective aspiration of our people. It is one of the most enigmatic living legacy of our late governor. We therefore urge the Ondo State governor to once again take a serious look at this matter and act in accordance with best practices across the world. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for that. As we'll draw the curtains on today's edition of Political Perspective, today's conversation, as always, reminds us that the pursuit of security goes beyond uniform patrol vehicles and checkpoints. It's built on trust, accountability, professionalism, and of course, the rule of law. We reflect on the journey of the Amotekun since its establishment, examine its contributions to community security, and of course discuss the recent developments in Ondo State. We also want to appreciate our guests for sharing his perspective. As always, we recognize that every issue has different sides, and we remain committed to giving all relevant parties a fair opportunity to be heard in the interest of balanced journalism. As members of society, our responsibility is to stay informed, support lawful effort to keep our community safe, and also follow due process and take its course whenever allegations arise. A strong society is built when institutions are effectively, transparently, and of course accountable to the people they serve. Many thanks to everyone who has listened, called in, joined us, and of course to our guest today for his perspective on the matter. Your opinion and engagements are all noted as regards the program. Until next week, please keep your questions coming as I keep your messages intact, because the goal is to stay informed, educated, and of course enlightened on what is happening in Nigeria and Ondo State particularly. Yes, up until next week when we come again with another fresh episode of Political Perspective. My name is Florence Ibhareman, and with me on this ride was...
My name is Alaba Adeyemi. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, this has been Political Perspective on iPower 102.7 FM. Do have a